everyone, Katherine Roth here, Partnerships and Product Marketing Manager at Barrett Distribution Centers, and I am super excited to be here with Miss Courtney from Waterdrop, who is one of our partners. And so, Courtney, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Waterdrop.
Hi, okay, thanks for having me. I'm Courtney Schick and I am the head of US operations at Waterdrop. So I handle all of our products as soon as it's picked up at one of our many suppliers until it gets to the end consumer in the US.
Amazing. And so, Courtney, what I love, like when I talk to you, I admire you a lot because there's not a lot of women in operations. So I'm just curious, like, give me the short form background as how you got into the space and like, yeah, what's it been like?
My background is a lot of D2C startup brands. And in a traditional startup, you kind of put your hands in a lot of different pots. And midway through my career, it was kind of here's some three different options, customer service, B2B sales, operations. What do you think challenges you the most and how do you want to proceed? And at that time, I kind of felt like operations gives you almost a different thing every day and was a bit more challenging and different challenges at the time or all the time. So I decided that's what I wanted to kind of lean into. And then from there have just worked my way up in supply chain and operations, different kinds of roles and different companies, which led me to Waterdrop.
I love that. I was actually thinking about that the other day, how if you're in operations, you're naturally a really good problem solver. That's what you're doing all day, right?
Essentially, yeah, you're just tiny fires everywhere, and how do you put them out and move forward in the way that's the best for the business?
Totally. So I have my water drop recharge here.
And
This is my favorite flavor though. So I'm obsessed. I use it pre-workout, post-workout when I travel, which I actually need to make a post about that because I swear by these when I travel and I feel so much better. But yeah, so take me through like the interesting thing about Waterdrop is that it's huge, it's massive. It has like a cult following in Europe and like just a fandom behind it. And so tell me a little bit about Waterdrop.
yeah, so our like little elevator pitch is that we were founded in Vienna in 2016, and it was built with the idea and thought of we people need to drink more water in a more sustainable way. So we want to be the world's leading hydration brand without selling a single drop of water. And that's kind of where the micro drink, micro energy, micro lights came from. So a hydration cube is packed with electrolytes, vitamins, and different fruit flavorings. Each one you drop into your water. It dissolves without needing to be shaken or stirred, and packs a punch of flavor that differentiates us in the category from other competitors that are using stick packs.
Yes.
As you said, it was started in Europe. So we grew starting with our D2C business and now and retail presence with our own brick and mortar stores. And now we're in over 60 countries. We were the leader and starter of the hydration category in Europe. So that's kind of how we kind of created this community and cult following, with the hydration being the main point, as well as kind of trying to connect with our consumers and create a community of like-minded individuals who are concerned about health, fitness, and hydration.
Yes, I was just thinking, I'm like, and the flavors are a major selling point, at least for me, because I've tried other competitors, quote unquote, and like, I just can't get behind that. Like, and maybe it's a European thing too, where the flavors are just super artificial tasting and leave like a taste in your mouth, which might be the artificial sugar too, but I don't taste that with water drop.
Yeah, so I think it is something that's super important to our founders as well, is that like while it has a functionality, they also want it to taste better. Because if you like the way that it tastes, you're going to drink more water in turn, right? So if we can provide like the best flavors with the best product, then we're doing our jobs right at the end of the day. Kind of with that, we just closed a round of 100 million euros in additional funding that we're just going to be using to fuel further profitable growth as well as expand in our product research and development.
That's amazing. Yes, I did see that on LinkedIn. Congratulations. That's huge, huge news. And even like when I think about like the supply chain, like of Waterdrop coming from Europe. So tell me like um and at what point did Waterdrop decide that it was like time to expand more aggressively into the US market?
Yeah, so the decision happened around 2020 that we need to kind of start getting market research for the product in the US. It is the largest consumer market for wellness and hydration products. So, given that we'd been proving the concept within Europe, it was how do we become a big player in the US? So, they sent over a few employees from the HQ team to start doing product testing, seeing if the product was a fit for the category, and then slowly starting building our retail as well as our D2C business there. And then from there, at that time, all the operations were being managed from Europe, but fulfilled within the Midwest.
Amazing. And so, like, what, I guess now you probably have a better bird's eye view of like, what are the biggest differences between like operating in Europe versus the US?
Well, Europe is a lot smaller, so
Yeah.
you're getting from point A to point B quite quickly, and it's a lot cheaper, as well as consumer expectation for delivery can be a lot longer in Europe, as well as not even delivered to your door. It can be delivered to like a place close by, where in the US, it's how fast can I get it to you? Is it going to be here competing with Amazon timelines? And is it like perfectly arriving to my expectations, which is just completely different as compared to Europe.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, I feel like in Europe, people are totally like laissez-faire with just waiting when a package comes in. Like in America, we're at the door all day just checking the status. When's it going to be here? And like the moment it's late, cut, cut the
Ex-
mic.
Next brand, like
Yes,
moving forward, exactly.
yes, yes.
I'm,
The
I'm
US,
guilty of it myself.
you're like, I just did that yesterday. Yeah, no, I hear you. So I'm curious, you were with a 3PL prior to coming to Barrett, within the US, actually, within the US market. So, like, just take me a little bit of why you decided to make that change from that 3PL to Barrett.
At the time, we had been with this partner since we'd started with Waterdrop in the US. They were great for us at the time. They were really able to adapt and shift and grow with us quite rapidly. But I think that there were just kind of this missing piece of processes, standards, and just like clarifying and being aligned in what our SLAs were and what our expectations were moving forward, as well as cost was a huge consideration for us at the time. So from there, I vetted several 3PLs, which kind of led us to Barrett. And I think it was one, the piece is cost. Two, it's the people and like the ability for them to be an extension of your team and to really connect with the brand. And then three, to also to deliver on those well-aligned SLAs and ensure that, there's clarity between all of those.
Yeah, and I think like when I hear what you're saying, really it was like scalability, really, is what you were looking for because it sounds like the 3PL you were with in the past was hitting all the marks, but when it came to like the growth that you were experiencing and wanted to optimize for, it's a good time to always like reevaluate where you are as a business and where you want to be, and
Absolutely.
make sure that the provider you're with aligns with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a partner for growth and who understands what the challenges of a small business are, and that maybe that growth might not happen overnight, but if it does, to be able to support us in that way and have like a full team that can come in and still meet the mark and get us to deliver to our customers to their expectations.
So as demand continues to grow and you've now secured a significant new investment, how has your operational strategy evolved to support the next phase of growth?
So our strategy has shifted from being more reactive to being more proactive. I think a lot of our motto in the supply chain team right now is the right product at the right time in the right quantities to ensure that what they're forecasting we're delivering on, that they actually need that product, and being able to be flexible if maybe something falls through, that we can kind of pick that inventory with another team and be able to pivot a little more in advance rather than being reactive after the problems occur.
Yeah, I could totally see that, the reactiveness and then having to get proactive and making sure that you're aligned in that way. And another thing that I was wondering is like, there has to be like surprises, lessons learned, or things that you wish you did earlier during the expansion process.
Absolutely. I think speaking for the US, one of the more surprises was with all the tariffs and all of the problems at the border, how long things can get or can take to deliver. And that's been like the biggest struggle for us the last year is one, costs driving through the roof, and two, the border's just being heavily impacted by all of these tariffs and problems. So it's been realistically trying to be a little nimble on timing and planning even more in advance than before. I think that's been the biggest struggle. Also, how fast demand can spike unpredictably. Like if someone, we're big in the tennis community, smashing our bottle on the court, how that increases a spike in D2C because everyone's like, where is that bottle coming from? Or what is going on here? And then being able to have the partner that can support that volume as we're just kind of having an unexpected spike.
Yeah, and I also want to hear, so you went from like one 3PL to then Barrett after deciding that you really needed a partner that could help you scale. And I've heard through the grapevine, Barrett is great. No, I'm kidding. But I am curious, like, what has your experience with Barrett been now that you can compare two different 3PLs?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with many 3PLs in the past, and I think something that stands out with Barrett is accountability and, like I said, mentioned before, an extension of the team. Like, if something goes wrong, it's more so like, let's come to a resolution immediately and then debrief on what went wrong and how we could fix it in the future, whether that's a problem from the Waterdrop side or the problem occurred from the Barrett side. But it's really like, let's get it done, and then also just having all these resources, having the great Barrett team to say, hey, Courtney, here's some efficiencies we can make here, or this is what we think we should do to make this better. We can save costs by implementing, for example, right now we're working on implementing a tool that will tell the picker what shipping box to use rather than giving that up to them to decide. And that is in turn going to save us, maybe 10 to 15 cents per order, but multiplied by the orders is like a huge cost savings for the company. So things like that where, we're using or relying on your IT and your tech, and you're coming to me and saying, hey, here's another way you can save more money. So it's been great, I think, in that way to have like a real partner with cost savings and not necessarily looking, or obviously you're looking at how much money you guys are making, but how can we both save money or both make this a more profitable partnership?
Totally. Thank you for that. I appreciate that because we do work really hard behind the scenes, and operations is a thankless job, as you know. But yeah, that's like one of our biggest things is we really want to feel like an extension of the brand. And so to hear that we're doing that for you, it just speaks volumes. So what advice would you give to other international brands looking to expand into the US market?
I think don't underestimate the regulatory and the differences in customs and FDA compliance as well as your labeling, because we've often found that maybe we can't have some flavors in the US just because of the compliance of the ingredients. Also, localizing more than you think you need to. So not just having like so many languages on the packaging, but making sure that it's special and unique for the market, so that it will perform better, as well as, I think going into the 3PLs, like really find that partner, prioritize making sure that you have the right partner to support you, and that you have a good foundation for your D2C fulfillment, because those are the customers that are the highest margin and the most likely to return, tell others about your brand, and you want them to have the best experience, because you have a good experience, maybe you tell one or two people. You have a bad experience, you tell a minimum statistically of 7. So really, like, that is the huge marker.
That's so true. I always forget that stat. Yeah, it's true. Like, and once someone loves you, becomes a fanatic of your brand too. I mean, like they refer people. Like I can't. I mean, even just when we think about virality and like people saying like, "I love this product," and people just create a huge spike in demand, which is like just one of the fun things about marketing as well as operations.
Right. Fun and challenging.
Yes, fun for marketing, challenging for ops. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Courtney, looking ahead, what's next for Waterdrop in the US and what opportunities are you most excited about?
Well, right now, something that's been top of mind and constant for us is Costco. We're doing a big test across a large region of Costco stores that will be happening hopefully in the next couple months. So I'm really heads down working on that, but it's a really exciting opportunity for us. Also, continued D2C and Amazon scaling, just making sure that we have real profitable growth and, driving down the costs in the best way that we can, whether that's renegotiating with Barrett, thank you, or, or, working on other ways to, just boost our AOV and increase our profitability.
Love that. I love the casual contract drop. Okay, perfect. So where can people find you, Courtney? Where can people buy Waterdrop? Give us the tea.
Yeah, so I mean, easiest paths are our website, waterdrop.com, or on Amazon. We're available on Prime. And then if you're in the Minnesota region, we do have a beautiful flagship store at the Mall of America with a free falling waterfall in the middle of the store. So it's quite a special experience. And you can be treated by our hydristas who will walk you through all of our products and the different range and functionality there to really get a custom experience to see what you like and which is the best water drop for you.
Love the hydristas. That's so good. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Courtney, so much for joining us. I hope to speak to you again, do another fun video. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Alrighty, bye bye.